going to share with you some of the challenges that I faced with going vegan and how I got through them. One of the challenges that I went through is that when I first went vegan, my parents, they were supportive of me being vegan, but they weren't going to help me with my food or make my food. So what I had to do is I had to spend a lot more time in the kitchen, prepping food, making food for myself, because they didn't make vegan food, right? I also gained a lot more confidence in myself because I actually had to make grocery lists and go out shopping with them to make sure that they got all of the things that were on my list. This really helped me make food though, and I was really a lot more confident in my skills in making food, baking desserts, cooking, and all that kind of stuff. Another one of the challenges that I faced is going out to eat. My parents and we didn't really go out to eat a lot, but when we did, we went to really nice places. And it was really hard for me because pretty much on the menu, everything is not vegan. What I found to really help me through this is what I would do is I'd look through the menu and look at like vegetarian options, and I would basically ask what was in them to the server, and they would usually tell me that it has dairy or butter or something like that, and I would just ask them to cut it out, and that's how I would order my food. Or also what I found is I loved ordering salads, but you just have to make sure that the salad dressing does not contain any milk and the salad doesn't have any cheese. That really helped me. One of my favorite foods now is sushi, because I just go out for sushi and it's really easy to get vegetarian sushi. And you can it's basically just seaweed, rice, and veggies, and it's so good. Another one of the challenges that I faced is confronting my family about being vegan. This was really surprising to them because no one pretty much that they knew was vegan, and I was the first. So they weren't exactly used to the topic, and it was hard for me at family potlucks because everyone would bring their own food and none of it was vegan, so I really couldn't eat a lot. But what I started doing is I just started making food and bringing it to the potlucks and just eating my own food that I had there. Also, another thing with family is that when you have everything on your plate and there's no meat or cheese or anything like that, they'd always question me and they'd be like, oh, like, where's your protein? Where's your meat? And it's like, it's so hard explaining to where's your protein coming from and all that kind of stuff every single time someone asks that question, because there's so many different types of plant protein, and it's hard to explain to them that there's other forms of protein other than just animal protein when they don't really understand the concept that there's other types of protein, right? So another challenge that I faced is my diet being accepted by my friends. At first, they were kind of skeptical of me going vegan because they thought it was just another one of my phases that I was going through. But what I really had to show them is that it was a lifestyle change and this was permanent. Often what started happening is when me and my friends would go out for meals and go out for lunch, it was hard because we'd normally go to fast food restaurants and it's like, I can't eat any fast food. So what I would often do is I just not have anything to eat and they just have their food. Or what I did for when we went for lunch, I just brought my own lunch and ate it in the car, and that was fine. One of the other challenges that I faced was cravings and trying to not eat meat or dairy or anything like that anymore. Before I went vegan, dairy and meat were a large part of my diet. I used to eat dairy and meat pretty much every single day. And now looking back at it, I just think it's so gross. At first, it was really hard for me to deal with seeing a juicy burger in front of me and not wanting to eat it, or seeing a glass of milk and a cookie and not having it, right? But as time progressed, I found that I had less and less cravings and I didn't really want those burgers and fries and all those non-vegan foods anymore. I just found other vegan alternatives. Like for ice cream, I just found a vegan alternative for ice cream. For burgers, I just found a veggie burger, and I found that was great enough for me because it gave me the mental stability that I was actually eating ice cream and having a burger, even though I actually wasn't, and it was so much better for me. And what I found is that I felt so much better about myself, and I felt so much better after eating the food, because normally what would happen is that I'd eat a burger and I'd feel like shit, or I'd eat ice cream and I just feel terrible. But once I started eating those vegan options, it was like I didn't have that guilt anymore, because I knew that even though it wasn't really, really healthy for me because it still had sugar and stuff for the ice cream, I still found that I felt better afterwards and I didn't feel as drained. So I hope I covered all of the challenges that you possibly can face when you're going vegan. And if I missed any, you can comment below and I'll try and get back to you. Thanks for tuning in.